All right, good morning out there. Where is that popping up? That's a good place for it. Since you're there, I'll leave you there. That's mine. Okay, now we gotta check and see if we're actually working on YouTube properly with no squeak. Let's see, right channel. Blah 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 yakety schmacky. YouTube properly with no squeak. Yep. Okay. All right, we are working and we are live, and I just closed my browser window and I want it open. Back open so I can tell you what I sold without doing the phone thing. There we are. Okay. All right. All right, we are gonna go hit record. Good morning. Welcome to Coffee and Resales. Almost didn't think I was going to broadcast today because I didn't have really anything to sell or to talk about. And then over the course of last night on a Tuesday night, Wednesday morning, sold 5 things. So 4 of them were $15 each. 4 sales, $15. And one was 20. So it doesn't matter what I start with because it was all the same. It was just one of those real interesting, weird days because eBay algorithm does weird things at weird times and likes to bulk sell you stuff. Okay. Anyway, we'll start with books, then do an interesting thing, and then the most expensive thing that sold. And we'll do that. From the Heresy box. I dropped the phone. Miracle of Seed Faith by Oral Roberts. This is a later printing, but this is like the second or third of this book that I've actually sold. Good condition. No writings, no markings. Yeah, no markings. So, $15 every time. I don't think this is in print anymore. And it's one of those like an older version that's in decent shape still sells. So bought for $1, sold for 15. Next up is Terry Brooks, Magic Kingdom for Sale, science fantasy. This is a little bit of a satire, but good condition. This is one of the old. Is this a book club? Yeah. This is from the old 70s and 80s sci-fi book club hardcovers. They're almost all this exact same size, exact same style. Last year, a couple of years ago, I ran across someone who must have had a subscription and donated them to the local library book sale. There's some really interesting things that are this style of book. The 70s, 80s sci-fi book club books. The first edition of Star Wars is the book club edition, the true first edition. It was not released on shelves until later. And like, this is one of the few things, like, books I know this much detail about. I think it was August 77. The first Star Wars book was released either right before or right after the movie. And I think it was right after the movie through the Sci-Fi Book Club. And it's one of the sort of few instances where a true first edition, first printing, is the actual book club edition. That's about a $100 book. This is 15. So, a lot of them are surprisingly not worth that much. and that's kind of annoying. But there's a few true first editions in that series, and every time you see one of these, particularly in good condition, this was $2. Look it up. I always look them up. My instinct always wants me to just grab them and go, but not for $2 a piece because a lot of them are not even $9-10 books. I think I may still have a couple sitting around here somewhere. Next up, Bible. This is a New King James gray leather bound. This is an older Bible. I actually had this exact same Bible when I was a kid. I think I still have it. But this is like a clean, hardly read at all copy. A little bit of wear on the leather. But $15. Thought I was going to go for a little bit more. But always look up non-King James clean leather-bound Bible. I always look up decent leather-bound Bibles. Usually the King James you don't, unless there's some particulars about it, you can leave on the shelf. But sometimes they're still worth looking up, particularly if they're old. I bought an old Schofield study Bible. That was a King James from the 40s. Flipped it for like $40-50. This one, 15. That's fine. So, probably cost me $1. Next, the most interesting one. The Kira Patron Barware bar mat thingy. This was $3 or $4. And so, snagged it. It looked interesting. Rang the, hey, that's interesting type of bell. It looked like one of those things you probably aren't going to buy. This may have actually come out, maybe a giveaway, may have come out of a bar. I don't know if you can actually go out and buy these unless you're a business or you get them directly from Patron. But it was $15. It cost me $3 or $4, so I don't know that I'm making a bunch of money on this. I think I had it up for $30 at one point, and there was a comp in the $20 to $30 range or something like that when I grabbed it. So, but $15, I'll minimum I'll make my money back. I'll probably make a few bucks, but small advertising things that are related to brands that you don't exactly get at Walmart. We're thinking about that. Finally, Ragnar. This bad boy. If you go back a little ways in some of my vids, and I usually mention it in the title. I need to start making some playlists. 1980s action figures. I got 3 or 4 at the thrift store. One was an Uncle Jesse. One was another $20 figure. I don't remember which one it was, actually. And then this guy. And this one sold for $20. And I made good money off of that little $5 bag of action figures. $50-$60 in my pocket. So. 80s action figures that look weird. That look old. You do have to have a little bit of an eye for them, but the way you think about it is if they find out what a vintage G.I. Joe looks like. Vintage 1980s G.I. Joes look like. Look at those and look for figures that are similar to that, and kind of know some of those details. And you don't have to look. You don't even have Google Lens. Pulled it right up too, and eBay's search actually would pull that up too. eBay has an image search that does okay. It's not great, but on stuff like that, that's not too esoteric. Actually, that is esoteric. If it's generic, you're not gonna have a good time with it. Anyway, that's today, and I got stuff to do because I got like real work. Because my real job had like something happen and it's good and I need to do it. So I gotta get this stuff boxed up and out the door. Fines? Let's see. I got a good little bag here. Okay. this was at last chance, so I didn't look it up, and I probably should have. But this is a Browning car mat. I'll probably bring it out to the yard to flea market and try to get $10 for it. I will double check it and look it up. But Browning puts so much stuff on there, puts out so much stuff that they're not as worth as much as probably some other guys out there. But if it's got a gun manufacturer's name on it, grab it. If you can get it cheap. Let's see. Books. Ayn Rand, Atlas Shrugged. I'm going to lock this up with another book and sell it for probably about $10 together. These are all last chance Goodwills. Got an I Survived book. Going to lock that up. And more scary stories to tell in the dark. This one I'll probably load up with some others, and got them all cheap, so they'll go pretty well. And that's everything. Like, comment, subscribe. Tell me if you had a random decent day that wasn't like a weekend. That that Thursday night to Sunday time period. If I sell more, usually is where most of my sales are. And this was a late night, Tuesday night into a Wednesday. Sold 5 things. eBay's algorithm. It likes